some really fortunate updates in this game, some unfortunate updates, and you can abuse now a lot of stuff like artifacts, and also you cannot use some artifacts anymore because they got debuffed or also they got changed or reworked. But still, for a long time you only saw hints and spoilers from developing the fields, pieces of new container branches, bits, and physical ratio. Now it's time to put everything together and show it directly in the game. So the first part of the update is changes to containers and backpacks, what has changed and why. So in this first paragraph of the update, it's talk about the container effectiveness, which now is different. They now vary each by each in every type of container. You have, for example, here it says previously the difference was mainly felt in number of slots. The effectiveness parameter is important, which enhances artifacts inside that container. And also here it says about, let's talk about the example. Suppose an artifact gives 4% vitality. Container with 100% effectiveness, this number will not change. A container with 150% effectiveness and output is 6%, and in a container with 50% effectiveness is 2. So explaining this, how it works, the effectiveness. So imagine having a bracelet which has 6% of speed and you have a 100 effectiveness container. If you multiply that 6% times 100 and divide it by 100, you're going to have the effectiveness of it, which is supposed to be 6 still. But if you multiply that 6% with 150, which should be 3% more of the speed, so you're not going to have any more 6% speed, but you're going to have 9% speed. And instead, in a container with 50 effectiveness, so here it says that 2% because we're using the vitality, but if you're using the speed with the artifact like the bracelet that has 6%, you multiply that by 50, you're going to have 3% of the speed, so it got nerfed for 50%. So it's already starting in a good base, this update, because now they also include the effectiveness. So because it used to be only 100% for all types of container, now they changed also the effectiveness of it, making it stronger or weaker depending on what type of container exactly what you're using. For example, KZS-1 container compared to Berluga only using one artifact with Chili. Of course, in this case, KZS-1 container will win because you have more effectiveness, but the slot is only 1. But with a Berluga instead you have 6, that you have only 100, and the inner protection is 78.5, which is going to protect you less from artifacts debuffs compared to the inner protection of KZS-1 container. It should be noted that effectiveness does not affect the inputs and outputs of infection, radiation, temperature, biological infection, side effect, and frost, but it can affect debuffs, either strengthening or weakening them. Now about this, when it says that it should be noted that effectiveness does not affect inputs and outputs of infections, it's just saying that you have these radiation debuffs, the temperature, the biological infection, side effect, and frost, which you need to have good rolls to lower them. But if you put it in the container, they won't be debuffed or they won't be subtracted from your effectiveness. So it's just going to be depending on inner protection of the artifact that you're using. The different types of container have become more equal. Small containers simpler, offer less power due to the slots, but are easier to handle. Heavy and spacious ones still deliver maximum power but require more effort to assemble. Example, Cocoon, tier 8 standard container, 3 slots, 100% effectiveness and 89.5 protection. Canister, tier 8 bulky container, 5 slots, 75 effectiveness, 60% of protection. So both have different effectiveness and inner protection. So inner protection is just the way to counterbalance the debuff of the artifact it is going to be. For example, in the terms of bracelet, you have 2.43 side emission, and you multiply that for, in this case, for the canister container, which is 60, you're going to have 1.45. So you subtract the 2.43 minus 1.45 to the original side emission, you're going to have 0.98 of side emission. The inner protection of it's good, but if we have higher inner protection, which is in this case for the Cocoon container, which is 89.5, you multiply that 2.43, so you have 2.17, and you have 2.43 minus 2.17, you're going to have 0.26 instead of 0.95 of side emission debuff. So it's really good to have also inner protection. To consider here is the slots. For the canister, the effectiveness, which is 75%, and for the Cocoon container you have instead 100%. The Cocoon container in this term, the artifacts are being used at their full power or 100% power, and instead for the Cocoon container you only have 225% for its power because you have only 75%. So that's why here in this photo you're going to see 2 whirlwinds and 1 spiral for each container. For canister container you're going to have moving speed 13.53%, carry weight of 18, healing effectiveness of 11.95, and resistance to electricity 42.88, and the temperature is going to be -8, and reaction to burns is going to be 10.59. But if you compare to the cocoon container instead, since it has more inner protection and more effectiveness, you're going to have movement speed of 18.05%, carry rate of 24, healing effectiveness of 15.93%, and resistance to electricity of 56.9. You're going to have radiation of 0.13 due to its inner protection, temperature of -0.8, and the frost of 1, and reaction to burns of 14.12%. So it's way better in terms of effectiveness and in terms also of the inner protection. Since the slots of canister container is 5 and not a 3 compared to the cocoon container, instead I'm going to have 375% if I use all of them. That's why here, if I use additional raisins to my canister container, I'm going to have additional stamina of 78.55, movement speed of 24.98%, which is 6% higher than the cocoon container, and the carry rate of 18, stamina regeneration of 12.978, and healing effectiveness of 11.95, and resistance to electricity is still 42.69 of resistance to electricity. So if you compare now with the cocoon container, it's going to be weaker compared to the canister container, because not you only have those extra speed, but you also have those extra buffs such as stamina regeneration and stamina due to the nature of raisin buffs, due to the raisin additional properties and buffs. So container protection has been redesigned. Okay, so here it just says that we now players have more freedom to build some artifacts that will give you some debuffs, and the weight and speed of container. Now they also changed the weight of each container and also the speed of equipment varying whether it is heavy, it's light or medium, and all those type of container. So it's either it's going to be bulky, standard, or light, and all the stuff. So in this point, since they buffed the artifacts, or they buffed the containers, they're going to be more pricey in terms of resources, but their seam is going to be still the same. The protection and backpack logic, now they're going to have inner protection compared to the pre-update, which it didn't have any inner protection. They're going to have at least minimum of 60%, and new backpacks instead, you're going to have many types of backpacks. You can have them in the barter, you can see them in the barter, and they can vary from light backpacks, which offers protection, few slots, gives less weight than the regular ones but compensate with speed boost. You have a standard backpack, it's going to be weak protection, many slots but provide great amounts of weight. And you have the heavy, which is going to be medium protection, medium number of slots, give less weight than regular ones. You have the heavy, medium protection, medium number of slots, gives less weight than regular ones but have increased effectiveness. So this is really great in my opinion, because you're going to not only you have effectiveness, but you also have inner protection. And even though it's 5, for example, for the coffin backpack, you have carry weight of 35, but still if you put some artifacts to it, since it has that extra percentage of effectiveness, is going to be stronger. Now there are more containers in the barter tree. There are now 4 instead of just 2 of them in the end, because it used to be only Hive container and Berluga as endgame containers. Now you also have SMC container, Hive container, Berluga, and then barter container. And instead for the backpacks, you have utility vest, ADR, WRPT, you have Secret Valley 35 backpack, and coffin backpacks. Barter branch changes and edits. Due to the barter reshuffle, some items will be replaced with others for players. In this section we have containers and their names. For example, you have KZS-1, rank up by newbie to pick lock, internal protection of 50% to 95%. The effectiveness instead is 100% to 150%. The weight is 1.75 to 1.4, equipment speed 2 to 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. You have KZS-1U, so it's from UV to pick lock. You have inner protection of 95%. Effectiveness of 180%, weight of 1.75 and 1.5, equipment speed of 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. KZS-2, 50% to 95%, effectiveness of 100% to 130%, weight of 3.5, 2.5, equipment speed of 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. KZU, internal protection of 55% to 95%, effectiveness is 145%, and the weight got downgraded by 9, so it's now 2.6, and the equipment speed of 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. And they remove this KZ3U, now it is a canister U. KZSM, So it's new container, which gives you now number of slots, which is 3, internal protection of 95%, effectiveness of 115, weight 3.60, equipment speed of 1.5, container type compact, has a temporary model. So you have a 95% of internal protection, which is going to be really good for new players who are just using 3 artifacts in this case, like maybe they're starting out and using containers. And though in my opinion backpacks will be going to be more useful, but it has 95% protection, so it's going to be way less effect of the debuffs of the artifacts which are going to be applied to you, and the effectiveness is 115, so it's getting more stronger. So it's okay. So you have the KZSM. Obviously this is going to be way stronger because now instead of using 132.5% SMC container, effectiveness comes to 100% to 120%. Now it's also stronger because the effectiveness also is now applied to the SM container. A U-2 container, effectiveness from 100 to 132.5. The equipment speed for 2 seconds, also same for SM container and all the other backpacks here, which are, I assume, light containers this turns because their switch are faster, and they remove all of this KZS containers, which now are replaced with Giga canister here. Number of slots 5, internal protection 60%, effectiveness 75%, weight 9, equipment speed 3 seconds, and rank Stalker canister U, number of slots 5, internal protection 60%, effectiveness 83.5, weight 9.25, equipment speed 3 seconds. Trainer Kega, rank Stalker, number of slots 6, internal protection of 60%, effectiveness of 78.5%, 8 weight 10.85, and equipment of 3 seconds. Kega RS, veteran, number of slots 6, internal protection 60, effectiveness of 90%, weight 11.1 kilograms, and equipment speed of 3 seconds. The barrel container, rank master, number of slots is 7, internal protection of 60%, and effectiveness of 92.5%. Weight inside is 12.7 kilograms and equipment speed of 3 seconds. Now we have the cocoon container, which is rank veteran and 2 newbie, internal protection of 93.5 and when done by 4, which is now 89.5%, and weight of 4.5 kilograms, and it got substituted by Cell U container. The cocoon new container, rank Stalker, number of slots is 3, internal protection of 89.5% and effectiveness of 110%, and weight of 4.8 kilograms, container type standard. Cell container now is rank Stalker and number of slots is 4, internal protection of 89.5%, effectiveness of 95%, and weight of 66.1 kilograms, and container type is now standard. And Cell U container is now considered as veteran and number of slots has 4, and internal protection of 89.5%, effectiveness of 110%, weight of 6.4 kilograms, and container type is standard. Hive container, internal protection of 85% to 89.5%, effectiveness of 100% to 105%, and its weight is 8.8 kilograms to 7.7 kilograms. Apiary container, rank master legendary, so it went from number of slots of 6 slots to 5 slots, and internal protection of 70% to 89.5%, effectiveness of 100% to 120%, so which is almost the same. It's the best version of the Hive container since that has the same internal protection, and the number of slots also the same. So the thing that varies between these two is only the effectiveness of the artifacts, which are going to be buffed. Internal protection of 60% to 78.5%, and effectiveness of 100% to 110%, and temperature of -2.5 to 1.62, weight of 4 kilograms to 6.4 kilograms. Forager container, internal protection 60%, 78.5%, effectiveness of 100% to 110%, radiation of -2.5 to 1.62, and weight of 6.4. Berluga 4 container has 4 slots of artifacts and internal protection of 60% to 78.5%. Effectiveness is 100% to 90%, so it got nerfed by 10%, and weight 5 to 6 kilograms, and equipment speed of 2 seconds to 2.5, but now get replaced by Berluga 5 container. Berluga 4U container, number of slots 4, internal protection 60% to 78.5%, and weight 6.3 kilograms, and now get replaced by Berluga 5 container. In fact, there's now the Berluga 5 container, which is a new container and has 5 slots for artifact, internal protection of 78.5%, effectiveness of 90%, and weight from 7.6 kilograms, and equipment speed of 2.5 seconds. The Berluga 5U container, the effectiveness of the Berluga 5U container is 100%, and the weight is 7.9 kilograms and equipment speed of 2.5 seconds. The Berluga 6 container, internal protection of 60% and 78.5%, and weight from 7 to 9.2 kilograms and equipment speed of 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds. Zivcas Arctic Safe has its internal protection of 75% and cold from -1 to 2.5, and a speed debuff removed, now has a weight of 8.5 kilograms to 9.2 kilograms, equipment speed of 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds. Container's type went from standard to capacious, and the reason for it is since we now have a stricter limit on the number of slots for containers, Arctic was transferred to larger containers in order to retain its 6 slots. So the Berluga 6U container went up from master rank to legendary, and the internal protection is 60% to 78.5%, the effectiveness is 100% to 114%, the weight is now 7 to 9.5, the equipment speed of 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds. The Berluga 6 and the Berluga 6U did not differ from each other for a long time, and we did not want to make one of them an alternative version, as Arctic is now, as this could greatly affect the builds that players were used to. So it was decided to simply postpone Berluga 6U until better times, transferring it to legendary containers. Those that players have in their hands will be replaced with the standard Berluga 6. Freezer container, number of slots 4 to 5, internal protection 67% to 75%, temperature from -2.5 to -1.875, weight from 4 kilograms to 7.9 kilograms, equipment speed from 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds, container type standard spacious. Alternative version of the standard containers imply that they do not have buffing effects, infection, but simply have reduced protection. Freezer was more suited to an alternative version of spacious containers which have both infection input and output, therefore it was decided to transfer it to capacious ones. Transformer bag. Internal protection 89.5%, effectiveness of 115%, added movement speed 2.4, weight from 1 kg to 1.5 kg, equipment speed 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Sports bag, internal protection 0% to 89.5%, movement speed of 2.7, carry weight of 20 kg to 17 kg, weight from 1.5 kg to 2.5 kg, equipment speed from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Now there is the new Protecta 3B waste bag, which has a rank of Stalker, number of slots 2, internal protection 89.5%, and effectiveness of 110%. Movement speed is 3.6, carry weight of 22 kg and weight of 2.75 kg, and equipment speed of 1.5 seconds. Container type is now considered as light backpack and has a temporary model. Pouch Black Eagle B-33, which is another backpack. It has a rank of Stalker, number of slots 3, internal protection of 89.5%, effectiveness of 95%, movement speed of 4.1, carry weight of 25 kg, weight of 3.75 kg, equipment speed of 1.5 seconds, and container type is light backpack. Utility Vest Black Eagle Y-73 has a rank of Veteran, number of slots are 3, internal protection of 89.5%, effectiveness of 110%, movement speed of 5.2, carry weight of 32 kg and weight of 4 kg, and equipment speed of 1.5 seconds, and container type is light backpack. Utility Vest ADR-WRBT has a rank of Master, number of slots 4, internal protection of 89.5%, effectiveness of 105%, movement speed of 5.7, carry weight of 35 kg and weight of 5 kg, and equipment speed of 1.5 seconds, and container type is light backpack and still has a temporary model. Marathon bag and saddle bag, internal protection is 60% and to 78.5%, has an effectiveness of 100% to 110%, biological infection from -2.5 to -162, and has a movement speed of 5.2 and a carry weight of 30 to 32 kg and weight 7 kg, and now it's 4 kg. Equipment speed is from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Container type is from standard to light backpack. Duffel bag. Rank Stalker Picklock, numbers of slots are 4, internal protection from 0% to 60%, has an effectiveness of 100% to 75.5%, carry weight from 35 to 31, and weight of 0.75 kg to 4.05 kg. Aaron Jr. Backpack is a rank newbie, and number of slots was 2 and now it's 4, internal protection of 0% to 60%, effectiveness of 100% to 75%, and carry weight of 27 to 34 kg. Weight is 1.6 to 5.15 kg. MBSS Backpack, newbie to Stalker, number of slots is from 3 to 4, has internal protection of 0% to 60%, effectiveness of 100% to 83.5%. Weight is 30 to 45 kg, weight is from 2 kilograms and now is 5.4 kilograms. Price of backpack. Number of slots from 4 to 5. Turret protection from 0% to 60%. Effectiveness from 100% to 78.5%. And carry weight from 40 to 51 kilograms and weight from 1.5 to 6.5. Soviet travel backpack. Number of slots 4 to 5. Internal protection from 0% to 60%. Has an effectiveness of 100% to 90%. And carry weight from 55 kilograms to 65 kilograms. And weight from 1.5 to 6.5 kilograms. Container type is heavy backpack, now is standard backpack. Secret Valley 35 backpack. Rank master. Number of slots is 6. Internal protection is 60%. Effectiveness of 92.5%. Carry weight of 70 kilograms and weight 7.85 kilograms. Equipment speed is 2 seconds and container type is backpack, a standard backpack, and has a temporary model. Hellboy backpack. Rank Stalker to newbie. Number of slots from 2 to 3. Carry weight of 28 to 17 kilograms. Internal protection of 50% to 78.5%. Effectiveness of 100% to 105%. Weight is 4.1 kilograms to 4.6 kilograms. Equipment speed of 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds. Container type is standard backpack to heavy backpack. Reinforced Hellboy backpack. Number of slots is 3 slots. Carry weight of 28 kilograms to 22 kilograms. Internal protection 50% to 78.5%. Effectiveness of 100% to 116.5%. And weight from 4.1 to 4.85% kilograms. Equipment speed from 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds. Container type standard backpack to heavy backpack. NPA backpack. Internal protection 10% and now is 78.5%. Effectiveness 100% to 116.5%. Carry weight from 45 to 25 kilograms. Weight is 2.5 to 0.5 kilograms. Equipment speed from 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds. Jagdtasche. Internal protection 60% to 78.5%. Effectiveness 100% to 102.5%. Carry weight from 15 kilograms to 32 kilograms and weight 6 to 6.3. And equipment speed is 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds. And now coffin backpack. Rank master and has a number of slots of 5 artifacts. Internal protection is 78.5%. Effectiveness of 110% and carry weight of 35 and weight of 7.5. Equipment speed is 2.5 seconds. Container type is heavy backpack. Chitin backpack 110% to 115%. Carry weight of 20 to 40 kilograms and weight from 3.5 to 8.1 kilograms. Container type heavy backpack to standard backpack. Template of heavy backpack implies high internal protection but lower slots quantity to maintain the previous quantity. The backpack was converted to standard and as can be seen it has settled in quite well here. Since it's legendary and if you can also compare this to the coffin backpack which is almost the same backpack, the main difference is the effectiveness, the internal protection which is 78.5% for the coffin backpack and instead for the cheated backpack you have still 60% for it, and the effectiveness now is 115% compared to the coffin backpack which is 110%. But if you consider the coffin backpack is almost the same as the pre-update cheating backpack which is 110%, so I think coffin backpack is way beneficial than the cheating backpack. The only difference is that the cheating backpack has that one extra slot for the artifacts which is 6 instead of 5. If you're going for carry weight and you still want to have a good PvP build, just go for the coffin backpack and save your egg tickets instead of buying the cheating backpack, because unless they buff more the cheating backpack, maybe change its internal protection to maybe instead of 60% to I don't know 70 or to 75% like the Zivcas Arctic Safe, I think it's going to be worth it to have the cheating backpack since it has more buff and has more effectiveness, like it has more effectiveness, has more carry weight, or maybe they can change the cheating backpack to also 120% of effectiveness. Okay, template of heavy backpack implies high internal protection but lower slots quantity to maintain the previous entity. The backpack was converted to standard and as can be seen it has settled in quite well. Overtone container. Remove movement speed debuff and has a healing effectiveness of 25% to 31.3%. The weight is now 9.2 kilograms and used to be 9.9 kilograms. Equipment speed of 2 seconds to 2.5 seconds and container type is now standard to capacious. Just like the Arctic was switched to an alternative preset of spacious containers implying protection from the bulky container, but one slot was moved to additional parameters. Armor changes. In the past updates, only specific containers are designated to specific type of armors or maybe type of armors, whether it is combat, whether it is combo, or whether it is scientist. Combat armors and scientist armors could only use all types of containers, for example the Berluga, the Hive container, the Zivcas Arctic Safe, the cheating backpacks and all this kind of backpacks and containers available in the game. But that's not it for the combat armor, because combat suits, it's not all for the combat suits, because combat suits in the end, especially for the end games, there are some backpacks that some heavy could use, but not the same for the container. For example, they couldn't use the Berluga 6 container, the Berluga 6U container, they couldn't use it. And so with this update, they made that every armors, whether it is heavy, whether it is super heavy, whether it is heavy, whether it is combat, whether it is combo, or whether it is scientist, all of them can now use those containers. And now they also buff the armors, where the majority of these buffs are by 15 or 14 bullet resistance. Starting with the Phantom Hunter armored suit, it has a decrease of 7 bullet resistance, going from 161 to 154. Albatros Heavy Assault Armored Exoskeleton, bullet resistance to 224 to 239, which is 15 bullet resistance more. The Zivcas M2C, bullet resistance from 201 to 216, which is now way durable because it now has the 15% of bullet resistance, because this Zivcas armor is one of the best armor in the game, not because of its bullet resistance, but by its periodic healing, which is 3 periodic healing. So that's almost using a medkit for the entirety of the game. Medkit, you can heal for periodic healing. The blue medkit, it has 6 periodic healing, and the green one has 7 periodic healing. So if you pair it with Zivcas M2C, you can have, for the first one, which is the red medkit, you can have a total of 7 periodic healing. And for the blue medkit, you can use 9 periodic healing, which is a lot of periodic healing. And for the green one instead, you can go up to 10. Now you can pair it also with healing effectiveness, also pair it with healing regenerations, periodic healing artifacts like the fossil, which offers you vitality, stamina regeneration, and also healing effectiveness. Longevity, it has a bullet resistance of 158 to 200 to 172. As if the JD Zivcas 2A Exo Armor has 176 bullet resistance to 189 bullet resistance. Regal Jumpsuit from 216 to 235 bullet resistance. CD4 Armored Suit from 217 to 231 bullet resistance. Antares Exosuit, bullet resistance from 206 to 230 bullet resistance, which is now way tankier, especially in Labyrinth, because that is full of Labyrinth PvPs. And so if you pair this Antares Exosuit with good PvP build, especially for vitality, because if you are this tanky, and if you go for artifact hunting in the middle of the Labyrinth where the portals are, and go inside the portal, you can have more chances of winning and surviving in those portals, because you have now more possibility also to get rare artifacts such as Shard, Spiral, Prism, and also Mirror, which Mirror is not that important. Wraps AH, the red medkit, you have 6 periodic healing. With the blue one you have 8 periodic healing, and with the green one you have 9 periodic healing. Beast Layer Exosuit, bullet resistance 203 to 217. Scythian 5 Armored Suit, which is my personal favorite, 196 to 210. Saturn Jumpsuit 165 to 178. Hound's Exoskeleton to 159 to 173. Investigator Exosuit 162 to 176. Punisher Armored Suit 162 to 176. Exosuit Missionary 169 to 183. Zivcas M2-0 207 to 221. Storyteller's Cloak, Artist's Cloak, bullet resistance from 184 to 197. MIS X Atlas 153 to 165. Blizzard Walker Heavy Armored Suit 175 to 187, Brigand Armor Suit 163 to 175 bullet resistance, Wraps AH-5 bullet resistance from 156 to 168, and Jaeger Exo Armor 166 to 178, Scythian 4 Armored Suit 160 to 187, Uranus Jumpsuit 132 to 144, Albatros Scout Armored Exoskeleton 134 to 141, Albatros Infiltrator Armored Exoskeleton, bullet resistance from 142 to 149, Yorsh Protective Armored Suit, bullet resistance 166 to 177, Wrap Spanner, bullet resistance from 154 to 161, and Ratcatcher Exo Armor, bullet resistance from 136 to 143. So the artifacts section of the patch notes, due to the rebalance, it is now possible to reclaim the resources spent on certain artifacts. This is due to the significant changes we've made to them. If an artifact is eligible for compensation, a small star will appear on its icon. There are 4 such artifacts in total: Atom, Polyhedron, Amberite, Eye of the Storm. Compensation is entirely optional. You can either accept it or decline it. The artifact compensation, you can receive compensation for your artifact based on the rebalance result until October 3. So here it says that the Atom plus 15 legendary one, you can choose one of the 2 following options, and it should have the star on its icon. But for now, it's still Atom, Polyhedron, Amberite, and then Eye of the Storm. I remember that the Polyhedron had many balances on this kind of artifact. It used to be movement speed, and then it became, I think, stamina regeneration, and then also it became bio infection, and then it became again movement speed. It got changed for like 4 times or 5 times. So these are instead the reworks of the artifacts. So Spectral Crystal has psi emission of 1.6, now 2.16. Protection went from 30 to 20. So it has also an additional properties of the psi replaced with psi emission to protection. Like instead of the axis, like because psi emission is different from the psi emission protection, which the psi emission protection is going to give you that extra protection for your armor, but instead for the psi emission, it's going to be on just to debuff, like to counter the artifact. Also rattle, and it says the type weak to standard. The temperature went from 0.5 to 1.25. Movement speed got changed by, or it got buffed by 0.2, and the stamina instead it went from 11.1 to 13.9. And the stamina regeneration for additional properties became 1.7 to 2.2, and then the stamina to 4.7 speed for 0.4. Okay, that's still good. So you basically have almost at level 15, maybe 2 or 3 speed, and the effectiveness of other containers is going to obviously make it stronger also. Battery, so the battery radiations is now 1.5 to 1.25, so it got changed by 0.25 of radiation. Ice Hedgehog, okay, so the Ice Hedgehog became weak to standard. Biological infection 1 to 1.25, okay, and movement speed is 1.6 to 2, and stamina regen to 2.3 to 2.9. So I think this little percentage of buff, which is 0.4%, is going to be really good, because now imagine the Ice Hedgehog purple at level 14 or 15, that's going to give you really good speed. I think it's also comparable to the bracelets. It's one of the best speed build that you can use. Additional properties, so 2.4 to 13, speed 0.6 to 0.7, and stamina regen to 0.8 to 1. Kettlebell, also the temperature is -2 to -304, so it's way stronger now, because you can, I think, use almost 2 suns with this if you have the kettlebell. And you have also thermal protection of 65 to 45, so it got reduced, and the temperature replaced with thermal protection 20. Okay, so you have this additional 20 protection for your armor. And now the disintegrator, so the disintegrator got nerfed by a large chunk of psi emission, so now it's not going to contribute on psi emission builds. It's also proportionate, because now there is also the base kit of the character, which is not anymore 1.5, but it's now instead 0.5. So I think this is also reasonable, because it would be so overpowered for the disintegrator, and you can use with barrel container. Reaction to electricity 2.6 to 2.2. Psi emission resistance replaced with stamina, okay, 12.4, okay, that's really good. And additional properties instead: reaction to electricity 0.9 to 0.8. Psi emission resistance replaced with stamina 4.2, that's really great. Psi emission replaced with stamina regeneration. So this is only the base kit. So the base kit for this, the psi emission is going to be fixed, and there is 1 new buff. So in the end, you're going to have 4 buffs for your disintegrator: psi emission, reaction to electricity, stamina, and then stamina regeneration, which is so good. And so Elite Lamp, psi emission, it got debuffed by 0.46. It went from 3.5 to 3.04. Psi emission protection 65 to 45, and then there is additional properties: psi emission replaced with protection, so it's still going to contribute to your character's 20 more resistance. And now what I'm curious about, helium gives you speed. So it's one of the best speed artifacts also. Now I saw that there are the red artifacts, which is going to give you red helium, which is going to give you also 6% of speed buff. And now it says that the stamina regeneration replaced with health regeneration to 2.3. Okay, so this is really good because health regeneration is really important in the game, and it added stability to 2.4. Additional properties, stamina regeneration, which is 1.6 to 3.2, so it's really fast. The health regeneration from 2.3 to 0.8, so you're going to have this extra health regen. Okay, so this is really good for just the base kit of the helium: speed, stamina regen, health regen, and then stamina regeneration, and then health regen. So you're going to you're having 4 buffs. So it's the same for Disintegrator. Like for Disintegrator, you have stamina regen, and the stamina you have 4.2. Instead for the helium, you have health regen and stamina regen. Transformer. So biological infection, so it's 1.6 to minus 128. Sight emission from minus 4.6 to 2.16. That's so bad. Care weight 7.8 to 6.5. Sight emission resistance replaced with stamina 13.9. This is reasonable because this sight emission resistance is just useless. The kind of resistance that anomaly resistance, I think it's useless unless it's like the normal ones, like for example the bio-infection. So additional properties, now is going to give you 4.7% of extra stamina. Carry weight 2.2. Sight emission, it went, I don't know if this is ranging from 2.2 to 0.88. So there is also the red crystal. Temperature minus 1.1 2.26. Okay, thermal protection, okay, this is useless. Temperature replaced with thermal protection. Okay, so this is really useless, so it became way useless. In candlelight 2.2 2.16. Stamina regen 2.4. Additional properties 0.7 to 0.88. Stamina regen and health regen gives you this. Okay, so they give you still 3 buffs: temperature, stamina regen, health regen. But it's really good because stamina and health regeneration is really good to combine. Leech, radiation 1.1 to minus 2.16, which is really good. Protection went from 30 to 20. Radiation protection 10, and reaction to laceration. Okay, so leech is still bad. And wolf tear instead. New property, radiation 0.5, temperature 1.5 to 2.16, and carry weight is 5.2 instead of, and from 5.2 to 4.4. Temperature replaced with bullet resistance. Okay, 4.1 resistance. Thermal resistance replaced with reaction to burns. Wait, what? Carry weight 1.5. So you have, wow, I think it's way better now. Its temperature went up, so you can put suns to it. Carry weight, you can get those additional carry weights. You get bullet resistance also, and reaction to burns. So it's almost like 2.2, and you have this extra carry weight. So putting it with this is going to be 5.9, and obviously going to be way more if you pair it with some artifacts, to some containers. Scallop radiation 1.5 to 125, explosion protection 5.2. Okay, so the scallop is still the same. Firebird, oh my god. So Firebird, it went from 2 to 1.25 temperature. Health regeneration from 2.9. Okay, but bleeding replaced with healing effectiveness. Okay, so now you're pairing this with healing effectiveness, which is good, and you have those extra 0.7 for healing regeneration. Effectiveness is a lot, also 3.7. But I saw some builds where you can have 30% of healing effectiveness just for a level 15 Firebird and healing regeneration, which is a lot. And I saw maybe like 3 branches, 1 gum, and 2 Firebirds, which is going to give you almost 20 healing regeneration and 30 regeneration. But it's really good, and the healing effectiveness is going up to 186, and that's just so crazy. Sun, bleeding replaced with bleeding protection. Okay, so I have more resistance against bleeding. Radiator, temperature 2.16, psi emission 1.28, just to counter the 2.5 psi emission of artifacts. Thermal resistance replaced with reaction to burns. Okay, that's way better, and gives you movement speed. Oh, it gets debuffed by movement speed. And okay, so I think they nerfed, well, at least Radiator, I think it become weaker because of this movement speed, and maybe for this reaction to burn, which is not a lot, but still. Radiator is only used for countering some artifacts like sounds, or maybe some other artifacts which are in need of temperature. Barry, weak to standard 0.5 to 1.25 radiation. Bleeding 0.9 to minus 1.1, so I get both. Vitality 0.9. Bleeding, health regeneration. Okay, so it has 4 additional properties like 4 buffs, and the health regeneration for the berry is still so low. I mean, it's the one of the most common whirlwind artifacts, so I'm not that surprised. For the vacuum, I don't know what's it called. Lard, okay, Lard is just useless. Embryo, 2.16 bioinfection, and oh, okay, chemical reaction to chemical burns, okay. Bioinfection replace resistance, and it gave you stamina regen from 1.7 to 1.5, laceration and bioinfection resistance. Okay, so it just became, I think it became weaker because there's not many items which requires reaction to chemicals, not that a lot. Maybe I think the grenade one, it's I think it's chemical burns. So yeah, it's not that many people are running around with this kind of grenades. Bioinfection to 6 to 16, swamp rots, reaction to chemical burns 2.3, 2.7 by infection resistance, replaced with healing effectiveness 4.5, additional properties biological infection 0.7 to 0.88, reaction to chemical burns 0.8 to 0.9, by infection resistance replaced with healing effectiveness. Okay, I really like the thought that they change healing effectiveness. They're putting a lot of healing effectiveness in these kind of artifacts, which is really important because healing effectiveness is also important because healing in this game is really good while you're engaging in PvP. Dumbbell, reaction to laceration from 3.6 to 4.3. Okay, so they just buff this laceration. Frame, okay, so it became strong output now. So the new properties are radiation, temperature, and bioinfection, which are the same. It gives you carry weight and stamina regeneration. Okay, so it gives you a radiation replaced with psi emission, carry weight 2.6 to 3.1, stamina regen to 0.8. So you're going to gain 3 of the stamina regeneration depending on how much is the level of the frame and also what kind of level is, like what kind of color is it. Crystal, biological crystal, biological infection minus 1.1 to minus 2.16, bio infection protection 30 to 20, biological infection replaced with biological infection 10. So this is useless. Acid crystal is useless. Lollipop, the lollipop got way stronger in terms of radiation counter, so it went from minus 1.5 to 2.16. It gave you stamina regen now. Oh, it gives you also vitality with its additional properties. So you have additional properties: radiation replaced with stamina regeneration and radiation resistance with vitality. Okay, that's still good. And okay, Flagum, so it gives you a biological infection 0.5 and 1.25, bleeding replaced with bleeding protection, healing regeneration. Oh, healing regeneration got replaced by healing effectiveness. That's sad. Yeah, because healing regeneration would be so more beneficial. Crossed, okay, Cross just got nerfed. Inkwell, standard, became standard 1 to 125, reaction to laceration, health regeneration. Okay, so this is against, I think this is good against PvE, against mutants. Laceration 0.6 to 0.9, health regen to 1, and vitality. When it's replaced with vitality, it's also good because now at level 0 is 1.2, but imagine how it is when it's level 15 and you using it with some builds which is going to contribute to your bioinfection or maybe a laceration. Okay, so the snake ID still the same, only the site emission get changed. Snail 2.9 to 3.04, stamina 12.4, and oh, okay, so this is good. This is really good because it has health regeneration and health regen 0.5 more, and site emission get replaced by it. Oh, you have also bleeding protection and stamina, so this is really good. Gum has 2.67 to 2.16, temperature 1.6 to 1.28, stamina regeneration, oh, replaced with health regen. Okay, that's really good. You can pair this with, oh yeah, that's why now you compare this more with branches and firebirds, since they give you healing effectiveness and vitality. Stamina regen replaced with health regeneration, chemical burns. Okay, Lemna 3.4 bio and protection of 45 from 65 to 45, so it's 20 of difference. And okay, so just 20. Polyhedron, okay, let's see the polyhedron. Radiation 1.25 to 2.5, added stamina to base stats 14.6, so it's going to give you this extra speed, stamina, and additional properties: biological infection replaced with movement speed, which is 1.5, and stamina regen. Oh, okay, stamina regen from 2.6 to 3.2, so it's going to contribute to this stamina to base stats, and additional stamina to 4.9. like it got nerfed, but you have this additional 14.6, so it's obviously good because now if you have this, you can have almost 19.5 of stamina base stats. Obviously, like I said, always consider it at level 0. Had exception in the current system and still has one. Originally it was supposed to have reduced infection in order to have an infection output. Burr, okay, the Burr has radiation minus 1.5 and then minus 2.16. New property, psi emission 0.5, radiation resistance replaced with movement speed 0.5, stamina reach, stamina 9.3. Okay, so it got replaced with movement speed also for the additional properties, and stamina regen also is going to help you with that 1.5 more. So it still have 4 buffs. Oh no, wait, it's 5. Okay, so you have stamina regen, stamina, movement speed. Okay, Burr is really strong. Radiation 2 to 2.16, radiation replaced with movement speed. Okay, I really like it. Movement speed of extra 0.8 and stamina of 10.8. Now radiation is minus 0.7 to 0.88, stamina 3.1 to 3.6, radiation resistance replaced with movement speed of 0.3. Okay, for scrubber 1.6 to 1.28, bio infection to 2.7 to 2.16, bio infection replaced with reaction to laceration, which is okay, that's not that good. I mean, maybe it's because against mutants, and so stamina is replaced with healing effectiveness, which is 5.8, biological infection 1.1 to 0.88, bio infection resistance replaced with reaction to laceration by 1, and healing effectiveness of 2. The only thing that I think it's not that good is the reaction to laceration, because I mean, okay, changing the bio-infection resistance to laceration is not that big of the difference, because both are kind of useless to use. I mean, ghouls maybe. If you go to reflection, use some extra laceration, like reflection into laceration, and maybe to fight bleeding, it's good. Okay, hedgehog instead. Oh wait, radiation went from 0.2 to 3.04, radiation protection 65 to 45, but hedgehog gives you less vitality, so yeah, it's useless. The radiation protection is not that usable. Steel hedgehog, okay, reaction to laceration, it got buff. Psi emissions 2.5, so it's still the same. Spiral instead, let's see spiral. Okay, spiral became standard, and you can have radiation 1. You used to have 1, now it's 125, and speed to 2, and carry weight is 7 to 8.7 kilograms, and additional properties, carry weight 2.4 to 2.9, speed 0.6 to 0.7, and healing effectiveness of 6.2 to 7.7. Well, I think it's good because you still have this healing effectiveness, which is going to contribute to your game, I mean to your character, because healing effectiveness is really important, and so it's going to be obviously maybe double the amount because of the container, but still it's good. Mirror, radiation 1.6, 2.16, psi emission, okay, 2.16, radiation protection is still useless. Protection, I think the protection are not that important at this game anymore. Like if you go to higher level, protection is not that important. Psi radiation and I mean psi and radiation and all the kind of buff which give you protection against anomalies is not that important anymore. So reaction to laceration, radiation protection, see, it's still useless, so it's still the same in the end, radiation protection. And then psi emission, okay, still the same. Shard. The 2.3 regeneration. New properties added, stamina regeneration. I'm sorry, little one. Yeah, exactly. I'm so sorry for Shard when I read this. And okay, so they buff the prism more. Explosion protection to 8.1 to 11.2, and explosion protection additional properties to 2.7 to 2.8. Atom, okay, so I want to see the atom instead. Radiation 1.6 minus 1.28, temperature, okay, biological infection, okay, psi emission, okay, I get it. Okay, they remove all of this resistance. I think the fact that they remove resistance is good, because they're not doing that much, but they added minus bleeding and stamina regeneration. That's really good as good properties. So okay, it can also give you vitality. Okay, so frost, laceration protection 9.3 to 13, protection, leaded glass, radiation 1.28, and temperature 0.1 now, and psi emission 1.28, so it's good. And now you have additional property, burning and reaction to burns. Vitality also good, that's good. Like leaded glass is I think the best for temperature, psi emission and radiation, plus you get this vitality as additional buff. Rhyme, temperature 0.91, 192, laceration 10, reactions to laceration, Whirlwind gives you added temperature of 0.192, speed 2.2, and temperature replaced with reaction to electricity 13.7. Wait, so the Whirlwind and the Spiral are almost the same. Yeah, because the difference between them is 0.2 of speed. Fire Knight instant temperature minus 1.1 to 128, bullet resistance 9.3, explosion protection 2.2. New property, added temperature 0.384, heal. So it's still the same, only change the laceration then. Chicken God, new added temperature, carry weight, and the laceration. Okay, that's still good. Eye of the Storm. Okay, so let's see what they added here. They removed the radiation resistance. Okay, they removed the resistance, and they added buffs. Oh, but it gives you minus 8 vitality, so that's way bad. Temperature replaced with thermal protection. Okay. Chili, new property, added temperature minus 0.384. Oh, it gives you also protection. What, 14.9 instead of temperature. Okay. Rose, sight emission 1.25, bullet resistance 7 to 8.7, explosion 3.0. So it's almost the same, like bullet resistance, additional properties 2.4 to 2.9, explosion protection 1.3 to 2.3, and carry 5.2 to 6.5. Onion, radiation 0.5 to 0.625, sight emission 1 to minus 128, and bullet resistance 5.8 to 7, additional properties to 2.2 to 2.4, sight emission replaced with laceration. Okay. Cursed Rose 1.25, radiation, explosion protection. Okay, so it's still the same. Finer radiation. Okay, it went down from 0.75 to 0.625, and bullet resistance from 6.8 to 8.1, and sight emission changed for stamina regeneration 2. Okay, that's still good. White Rose and carry like sight emission protection replaced with reaction to electricity 1.9, carry weight 6.1 to 7.3. Okay, additional properties, sight emission 0.88, sight emission protection replaced with reaction to electricity. Okay, carry weight, so almost the same. Proto Onion from 2.9 to 3.04, stamina regen 2.3 to 2.5, radiation protection. Oh, okay, I really like it when I see healing effectiveness. Radiation removed, added new property, healing regen, health regeneration, stamina regen 1.4, healing regen, and you have also this healing effectiveness, and it's also counter radiation. Whoa, I think there's you can wait. So if I pair 4 Viburnum branch, should it be good with the Proto Onion, and maybe something in the end for X4, or maybe heal, putting the heal. I don't know. That's maybe I'm really curious about this. Because also the inner protection also, I think it helps. Okay, well, the brace is still the same. Sponge from weak to standard to, okay, radiation 0.5 to 0.125, reaction to laceration 5.2 to 9.1, Prima 1.25 to laceration protection 6.5. Still the same. It's not that useful. These two artifacts aren't that useful in the end. You have regeneration to this, also 1.5 for sponge. Shrimp, explosion. Okay, so explosion, so that's not that a lot. Golden Prima is still the same. Amberite, let's see the Amberites. So standard to weak output is 1.25 to 0.625. They removed the sight emission, and new property, added temperature minus 128, carry weight 11.2, and stamina regen 2.6. Speed 1.5 to 1.2, stamina regen 1.2 to 0.9, and carry weight 4.7 to 3.8. I mean, I think it's a good alternative to if you want speed and stamina, and also some carry weights for your builds. Like maybe if you're using speed builds, and you can also exploit this Amberite to your speed. So it says that the Amberite, being a T4 artifact, was supposed to higher infection levels. Combined infection were an exception in the previous container system, and we are trying to limit exceptions. Therefore, instead of giving it a high infection of 2.5, it has decided to reclassify it into another type. Possibility of using Amber without a counter artifact is still there. Okay, in return it lost some of its stats, but it can counter thermal artifacts. Yeah, it's really good. It can counter thermal artifacts since you have also temperature now. Keragen 3.9 to 3.04, carry weight 5.8. They replace thermal resistance to stamina regen, which is 2.5. So the carry weight of the additional buff is going to be 2 instead of 2.4. Thermal resistance replaced with bullet resistance, and stamina regen replaced with stamina regen. Okay, I think that's good. Like those extra 5.4, and maybe level 15 is going to be maybe 15 also of the stamina regen. I mean, bullet resistance might be. So dark crystal minus 1.1, minus 1.1 0.28, sight emission of 2 and 0.625, health regeneration 1.9 to 2.3, health regen 0.7 to 0.8, and 0.1 vitality. I think this is good. Since you have vitality and you have healing regeneration and you also have sight emission and radiations, I think it's good. Rubik 2.2, 2.7, radiation 1.6 to 1.28, temperature to 1.6 to 1.28. Same for bio. Sight emission is 128, range protection 7.6, radiation resistant to electric protection, thermal to fire protection, bio to chemical protection. Oh, it gives you less recoil though. Okay, crystal inside out, so it has radiation, bio infection, laceration 5.9 now, carry weight of 12.4 and stamina of 13, and you have stamina as additional properties at 3.5 and stamina regen of 2.9. Okay, the retina instead has sight emission of 2 to 1.25, speed of 1.6 to 2, reaction to burns of 3.6 to 4.9, bio infection 1.2 1.28, stamina regen 2.3 to 2.9, bio infection replaced with laceration 0.8 to 0.6 to 0.7, tallow. Okay, sallow. Okay, so the sallow, the lard. Temperature, healing effectiveness good, reaction to electricity. Okay, healing effectiveness, you're going to have this additional buff. Okay, tiny key, recoil to minus 4.4, laceration protection minus 17 to 18.8, recoil 1.3 to 1.5. Okay, inside out rose, stamina regeneration replaced with reaction to burns of 3.3. Bismuth, recoil 3.9, 4.4, stamina minus 29.2 to 32, additional recoil to 1.3 to 1.5. Okay, like Viburnum to 2.5, recoil 7.6, ability replaced with stamina regeneration, bubblegum, explosion protection to 10.8 to 14.9, speed 3.7 minus speed, bubblegum, explosion protection is 3.6 to 5, laceration protection 14.5 to 20.2. I think the last one is not that important, but I think the first one is more important. The explosion protection from grenades. Raisins was resistant to 27.1 to 29.7, so it got nerfed. Colophony. Okay, the colophony, which is the egg. Whoa, it gives you stamina regen and healing health regeneration, carry weight of 8.5, and stamina and health regeneration of 1 additional properties, so it's good. Stress Vest became standard, so it gives you 1.25 and 1.1 to 1.4 speed, and healing effectiveness of 11 now. Stress Vest, so that's way stronger. Really good. And you also have this carry weight as additional properties, and hoop. I don't know what hoop is. Oh, so they also changed some consumable. So it's key to yours, which is duration of 1. Okay, so it's 270, so it must be 4 minutes and 30. Poison to 50, vitality from 17.5 to 8.4, sight emission 0.01. They get rid of healing effectiveness and they added health regeneration reaction to burn. That's good. So painkiller instead is going to be also 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Poison 50, stability. So the stability now is 39.6. Remove bleeding protection, and it gives you more bullet resistance. Okay. Jolly Lemonade, remove radiation, vitality, and they added movement speed. Okay, and laceration for 3.1. Okay. Brine. Tinfoil Hat, sight emission. They remove all vitality, stamina, protection, and sight emission, and they added movement speed, healing regen, and stamina regen and healing effectiveness, and reaction to electricity. Okay, that's good. Subtropics. They remove frost resistance, vitality, and they added reaction to burn, movement speed, and healing effectiveness. So I think they are more used to hit and run, because once you use them, you have this 4 minutes of time to use them. I think it's 4 minutes. I don't know. Maybe it's 135 seconds. I don't know. Maybe it's 2 minutes and 35. 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And you have this movement speed, which one gives you 1.6, and then other gives you 1.7, and another one is 1.7. And I think it's just a hit and run, because they give you, all of them gives you 2 gives you healing effectiveness and stamina regen. Vodka, short-term boost, radiation removal, duration 5 seconds. Radiation is minus 18,000 to 30 minutes. Okay, radiation is 1.5 to minus 10. Okay, at least having a regeneration. Okay, that's still good. Alcohol instead, short-term boost, removal. Okay, so it now also 5 seconds, poison 100. Okay, experimental thermoplate, remove frost remove frost removal, other protection, frost protection 80%. Okay, and then there is the frost vodka warming serum. Okay, they removed the thing. Yeah, in the end inside it's the infection adjustments. Yeah, there it is. So infection output displays, added standard infection output displays, debuffs applied by infection are now also shown. And so there it is. You have radiation 0.5, you have bio 0.5, temperature and psi emission 0.5. Like psi emission used to be 1.5. So suppressions added movement speed penalty to them. Okay, wait, what? That's bad. As part of improving the game experience, we are introducing a partial character deletion mechanism. Now players will be able to cancel deletion of the character within 3 days. The sites now feature switchable zoom functionality. So added long-term ambient sounds, new lines and from Archon Zuza on the radio and music in the main menu. Added weapons firing sound, case 1, PKP and LR 300. Muzzles update, muzzle device models, costume guns, the Cancer Soap, Dunkazer, okay, Supra K8, CKOC, G Octo, Guntix 9 times 19 VR0T. Yeah, I think for now this is like, if I need to compare to other updates, this is the best one, because now you have all this flexibility with your artifacts, and maybe it's still going to require a little bit more of time to adapt to this new updates, like to these new containers, new backpacks, and for the artifacts, like you need to make new artifacts builds. And also the healing effectiveness, I mean not the effectiveness, but the effectiveness of the backpacks of the containers are going to be really good, and that was something that wasn't even usable in the past updates, because they're all 100% effectiveness. Now they have those extra percentage, which helps the artifacts to reach more strength in terms of their boosts. So that's why I think so in these terms, I think this is one of the best updates, because it gives you really good boost. And also they change armors. Now they are way durable. And also for now, these artifacts where they get rebalanced, also the Prima and also the consumables, and also some artifacts which now they're really good. They're really good. Now special cases are the same. Added new unique motives and style. The horror zone. Okay, so you get the herdsman. You get malfunction, albatross, KZ. Okay, so this is for CD4. This is instead for the Scythian. Okay, horrors of the zone star packs, charms, counters, event hub. Oh, you get this one. You can now see the patch notes and the events, and you can access. Okay, you can also access here, and when you press main menu, and you're going to see all the things. Okay, so daily login reward, move daily login rewards to the event hub. From now on, rewards are no longer claimed automatically. You'll need to collect them manually through the event hub. Okay, you can now sell almost all necessary gear from the past seasons to the exchanger. Simply open the sell tab at the trader. You can now sell almost unnecessary gear from the past season to the exchanger. Simply open sell tab at the trader, get rid of the excess items. Please note veteran and Stalker gear can no longer purchase for the act tickets. Okay. Arsenal, collection of weapons that Arsenal can upgrade has been expanded with the AUG A3, AK-12 and HK-416. Upgrading them will cost you 20 reputations. Okay, so they got buffed by damage, I think, or it's only the amount of cost for upgrading them. I think they're really good, because the AK-12 is using what kind of bullet? 545, and Arsenal HK and AUG are using 556. I think this is good bullet penetration, and I think the HK is better in terms of speed of rate of fire, or maybe at this point the AUG is way better. Okay, so upgrading attachments. Arsene is expanding his field of activity. He now also takes attachment for upgrades. Currently, you can upgrade grip, silencer, muzzle brakes, and attachments. An attachment upgrade will cost you 30,000 reputation. Arsenal has started offering daily tasks to those who want to obtain Arsenal items with less financial investment. Here's the task that Arsenal can offer you. Shoot, have a look. You are granted a random Arsenal weapon and you must use to eliminate a certain number of the enemies. Once done, come back to Arsenal. Ammunition will be issued with the weapon. The weapon itself has very limited durability amount. The weapon cannot be repaired or also various game modes. Oh, I need this. I really want this. Feed imp. You must gather an estimated amount of food for imp. While they're murmuring over there, you must find the destroy murmur's site installation. Dig deeper, brotherly. A pal of Arsenal has appeared in the zones recently. He is ready to help you earn Arsenal's reputation. Arsenal can be found at faction bases. He works specific items which he puts in the package for Arsenal. Items presets required for trading are individual for each player, will change daily throughout the week. Packages come in two types, drop upon death and not. The latter requires more valuable items. Okay, so the one that you cannot drop when you die is more valuable. The list of items can be viewed when interacting with Drossel. Okay, changes to selling items to Arsenal. Arsenal items selling mechanic has been changed. From now on, every day each player will receive a random set of items instead of fixed sets shared by everyone. Other changes reduce the number of players allowed to enter Stillwater's Borough to 2 instead of. Overall, I'm rating this update 8.7. I think there should be some artifacts that should be more reworked, making also on like the common artifacts that you find in artifact hunting as usable as possible, because they aren't that usable. And if the goal here is to make every artifact usable by players, since like they changed those artifacts that are not like some that people didn't used to grab attention on, now they changed some aspects on them, like giving them healing regeneration, or maybe healing effectiveness, or maybe buffing their vitality. And I think if they change it a little bit more and maybe getting not concentrating a lot on protection and maybe getting more like the normal the psi emissions, or maybe like for example not just concentrating on thermal protection, thermal psi emission protection, radiation and chemical protection, all this stuff. I think that would be great, because your gear, if you are already in the north side of the zone, it's not that useful because you already will be using some gears that will already provides you those buffs. And also for Arsenal, I think it's exaggerated, because now you have 30,000, and it's also limited per item now. So I think that's really exaggerated, and I really hope they change this again. And maybe for those who already gave a lot of Arsenal protection, they will give them reputation back, because I think that's too much grinding and people do other stuff, and if you don't grind enough, it's just going to be a waste of time doing Arsenal. Maybe if one of your weapons appears in the Arsenal slots which he sells, and maybe you need to grind for that more. So I think it's not players are going to be having a bad time on the reputation side, because HK 416 for 20, AK 12 for 20, AUG A3 for 20, and especially for attachments it's going to be 20. I mean 30. I think if they did this for 15k, I think it would be doable, but 30k for just one attachment that maybe can give debuffs to your weapon, I think that's yeah, I think that's my final verdict on this update. I still think that is good, because now you can play more with the artifacts and you're not going to just doing metas artifacts. And obviously there's going to be meta, but now you have more. Now you can make more builds on the with the artifacts, and also with the backpacks, and especially the containers. Now they are more buffed, and they remove the debuffs of them. I think it's really good. That's why I'm giving it 8.7. So this is an 8.7 update for Expo.
Yes, might be.
We got enemies in southwest.
Ooh. Actually,
enemies in the middle,
but it's like 300k. Yep, I'm running back.
Alright, collection it is.
Minus 500k for a fucking collection.
You got good artifact, guys?
Nah, it's just brain trace.